You think that no kids are getting medically transitioned? I've seen kids talk about being medically transitioned. Like, the president of the country, or the soon-to-be president, is talking about this to the entire country. Do you think it's fake news? He's prosecuting doctors who've done this. Like, do you know who Buck Angel is? I'm gonna start posting the stories myself. I'm not here to, like, I'm not lying to you guys. The reason that I changed my mind is because I saw it with my own two eyes. And if you are on the side of TikTok that's lying to you about this, then yeah, I'm gonna start posting some detransitioner stories because it's horrifying. And it is happening to kids. I watched interview after interview where people were 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old when they started this process, when they got certain medications. They're giving kids cancer medications. Why would you give a child, a growing body, cancer medications? Why? I'll go find the interviews. And I watched somebody who had a top surgery at 13 years old. What do you mean it's not happening? All those people are lying. They're making it up. I will gladly post this stuff for you guys when I have time. But Buck Angel, one of the oldest trans men in the US, he has a huge following on YouTube. Look, I have a video up of him right now.
And so today I want to do this video about these botched top surgeries and these guys and girls and people talking about how they want to normalize botched surgery. Why would you want to normalize that? Why? I'm so fed up with this nonsense. Hopefully things are going to start changing here now after the election. So with that, I want to thank you so much for liking, subscribing, helping me create this channel, helping me move forward.
Yeah, go support Buck Angel.
A space where we can bring the truth out to the world. So let's just get on with this. And so I just also going to give you a little warning. Some of this stuff is pretty hard to look at, and I apologize for that, but we've got to start to really push this in people's faces so that they can actually see what's happening. And so with that, I'm going to bring up, I'll bring up the... let me see. I'll bring up this video first.
Distracting myself, making eye contact with someone on the street.
Ugh, that creator has always bothered me. Friday is so great and funny, and it seriously really bummed me out when they went through with all this surgery. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. It really bummed me. I just worry that people are doing it because it's trendy sometimes. And like, what are you gonna do in 5 years when you're like, I cut my breasts off when I was on TikTok. Like, I'm embarrassed about stuff I did on TikTok. Like, I don't want TikTok influencing people. And I know, like, that's not what's happening all the time, but it's happening sometimes, and we need to stop lying about that.
April of last year. I would like it to eventually lay more flat and just even, especially right here, I have this, like, pocket of scar tissue that is very hard. My scar is, like, super sensitive to the touch. Like, my agent, Amelia, actually gave me the trick of taking a vibrator and, like, putting it just on little different parts of my scars. And I did that for a little bit, but that vibrator was rendered unusable for medical purposes.
Like, if you guys won't listen to a trans person about these issues, then I don't know who you will listen to. Buck Angel is like one of the original trans men in this country, and he's doing amazing work, and he's trying to help kids, and people call him transphobic all the time. I mean, that is just, it's asinine is what it is. And when I said in that clip that I have a problem with that creator, Friday, that he was showing, I don't have a problem with Friday. They are a great creator, and they're a hilarious person. My problem is I've watched Friday's transition, and it's actually made me sad. Like, mutilating your own body, I don't see it as liberating, especially when there's a bunch of people who don't want to have surgery and are forced into surgery, and I worry about medical corruption. Like, what about the greed that is going into this industry, and how many people is that person influencing on TikTok and saying, oh, I feel so great, I feel, like, I have this top surgery and it's botched, but I'm happy and I'm fine. I know what it's like to be online and try to pretend like you're okay. And maybe Friday is totally happy with their surgery, and maybe they're not. And yeah, when I see people getting top surgery now, when I have watched so many other people talk about the complications of top surgery, it makes me sad. And I'm not a transphobe for saying that. And I think there's so much corruption in the medical side of this. There's so much money in it. They don't warn people properly a lot of the time, and you're on your own if something goes wrong after. And then they get you looped into more surgeries, and Friday is already altering their appearance more. Like, nothing external is going to help you if it's an internal problem. No amount of money, no amount of gender reassignment surgery, no amount of success fixes you. And that's like ultimately what I think, but that also doesn't mean that you shouldn't present yourself or live however you want. And if you want the surgeries, go for it. If it will make you feel amazing, go for it. But just know it might not, and you're gonna have the hedonic treadmill effect as well, which I've talked about on this app, where you're gonna feel gender euphoria for a while, and then that's just gonna become normal. That happens with anything. You make $1 million, you're gonna feel great for a while, and then $1 million doesn't feel like $1 million anymore, and you still have everything else to deal with. And I didn't know that people were signing up to have medical complications for the rest of their lives. I didn't know that until I started watching people like Buck Angel. And I saw an interview recently. I was talking about this in my last video. It was a young man, and they tried to give him a vagina, and it didn't go right, and he didn't know that this could happen. But basically, like, the area between his back end and his front end has these crazy holes in it now, and he is infecting his own vagina with fecal matter constantly. He has issues going, number 1 and 2. He has constant infections, constant pain, cannot have sex in any area, has no sexual function, because his backside is also completely ravaged from this surgery, and he didn't know that could happen. And he has this cavity, and when he talks about how much he misses having that body part, like his own body parts, like, it is one of the most tragic things I've ever heard. And he was so lied to by the medical community, and he's going to live in just abject horror the rest of his life, and his life might not be that long because of these complications. Like, the front of him, I just have to be careful about what I say on TikTok, and the back of him are now merged, and he has constant infections from his own body. I don't know if that makes sense. I can't be too graphic on here, but I'll find the interview and I will post it, and I encourage you guys to go watch the whole thing. I know I got way off kilter here, but I'm just gonna tell you guys what I actually think. I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared of buzzwords. You guys are not gonna throw buzzwords at me and try to gaslight me and tell me I'm a horrible person for thinking these things. I know so many people are thinking this and aren't willing to say it, and I'm here to fight for the people that it goes wrong for. Those people matter too, and I'm here to tell people and kids, like, what can happen to them, because I didn't know. And thank you, Buck Angel, for your work. This video is for educational purposes only.